The Michael Berry Show.
Put down the kombucha and pick up a crossbow. Hipsters are the new hunter. Want organic, sustainable meat? Kill it yourself, say veteran hunters, trying to appeal to the next generation of recruits to keep the sport alive. Bogart, Georgia. A group of veteran hunters set out last month in a forest northeast of Atlanta with apprentices. Among them, a former vegetarian, a Haitian-born grad student, and a farmer's market manager. They wore camouflage and carried crossbows. They were aiming to kill white-tailed deer, but the real target, new hunters. The number of Americans 16 and older who hunt is down 18% from 2 decades ago, according to federal data. An older generation of hunters is trying to lure recruits to the sport by pitching it as a good way to ensure meat is local, sustainable, and probably organic. Charles Evans, 29, who works in hunter recruitment for the Georgia Wildlife Federation, said, "Earthy, crunchy aligns very well with deer hunting." The December hunt, aimed at relative newbies, was organized by Field to Fork, a project started in 2016 by a 60,000-member national hunting group. The project locates its human targets at places such as a farmer's market in Athens, Georgia, where it provides samples of venison. The trainees use crossbows, which are quieter than guns, and let them train and hunt on properties closer to civilization. For some first-time hunters, the equipment is more palatable than firearms, though most rifles can shoot further. Frank Kennedy, Jr., 25 years old, on the hunt from nearby Winder, Georgia, says he joined the program because he wanted to, quote, eat food where I knew where it came from, but found hunting intimidating from the get-go. Now he regularly goes out to the forest to hunt. Once a staple of American life, hunting has declined as the percentage of people living in rural areas shrinks and people have the time or need for a pastime, and fewer people have the time or need for a pastime requiring patience and the willingness to kill an animal. That's bull. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. The reason is because these whack job groups have harassed hunters. They're lucky one of them hadn't gotten shot. That's because pop culture, in so many different ways, has maligned good, honest, decent people carrying on an age-old tradition, often father and child. I'll bet you there are more parents, fathers. I bet you there is more father-daughter time spent on hunting trips than most any other activity they could engage in terms of complete amount of time, because you got to include drive time, you got to include the non-hunting time that is father-daughter time. It's a huge activity and a special activity. What we have witnessed is all of the great American institutions have come under attack by people who are united by one thing, that they are the runts of the litter, that they are unhappy people. And by God, if I'm unhappy on Christmas Day and you're enjoying the Christmas spirit, then I'm burning down the entire display. If I'm unhappy over the fact that I don't have anybody to take me on a hunting trip, or I don't have anybody to take on a hunting trip, then I'm going to do everything I can to destroy it for you. If I don't have a daddy who loves me, then I'm going to destroy the institution of the family. There is an injustice in everywhere all the time. The guy sacking my groceries makes less per year than the guy who's the CEO of the grocery chain. And they can't bear that. You can't bear it. There's a higher percentage of blacks who go to prison than whites. And so those sorts of things weigh on their minds. This is the white liberal I'm talking about. Those sorts of things weigh on their minds, but they don't know how to solve it. And their efforts to solve these problems, many of which are intractable, but their efforts are often worse than the problem itself. And they lead to more problems than the problem itself. But there are those types. There are plenty of those types. And because they can't find happiness, They instead use their often formidable talents in very, very negative pursuits. Very negative pursuits. It's not enough that they're vegetarian. They have to make sure that they make it very difficult for anyone else to find meat. And I think to myself in such a situation, why do you think God gave you teeth specifically for the purpose of tearing meat if he wanted you to eat only Brussels sprouts?
MichaelBerry.com